Have you ever felt that some people turn off your light without not even raise your voice? That your mere presence, it disrupts your peace, drains your energy and clouds your clarity. You try to maintain the calm, be understanding, empathetic, but by something is stirring inside. You are not exaggerating. Your energy is sacred, and learning to protect her is not selfishness. It is an act of spiritual self-love. In a world where toxic bonds sometimes, they disguise themselves as closeness, Buddhism tells us delivers a profound truth. You cannot control the others, but yes can learn to protect your soul. Today in this video, I'm going to reveal to you 12 ways intelligent, compassionate, and deeply conscious of relating to each other with people difficult, without losing your center, without turn off your light. It's not about hearing. It's about trying to raise your vibration, and from there that nothing nor nobody can drag you to the chaos. Subscribe to the channel and activate the Tinker Bell, because this video is not just advice. It is a practice of freedom interior that can return you the peace that you lost without give you account. In a monastery nestled between mountains and fog, a young monk approached with he frowned at the teacher, older from the temple. "Master," he said with an agitated voice, "there is someone here that always interrupts me when I speak. I know mocks my mistakes and throws comments that fills me. Every time I do it I lose peace. What I must do with someone so." The wise man had looked in silence for a few seconds. Then, with a calm voice, he asked, "Tell me, if someone tries to give you a gift and you do and you accept, who belongs that gift?" "To the one who offers," he answered, he somewhat bewildered young man. The teacher nodded. "Same occurs with the offense, the humiliation, and the provocation. If not you accept, they continue belonging to whom delivers them." The young monk, he kept silent, but this maybe it was not out of anger. It was because something deep inside him had just break free. The story of the young monk reveals a profound truth to us. What you accept affects you. What you let go of affects you, liberates. And when it comes to people toxic, those who criticize, manipulate, drain your energy or drag into conflicts, this wisdom becomes a compass essential. I don't know not to hate or react. Try to consciously choose what deliveries and what you keep. Because as they teach the great masters of Buddhism, you can't stop someone from spit poison. But yes, you can decide whether it you let into your heart. With that clarity in the soul, today I want to share with you 12 ways intelligent, conscious, and deeply transformative to handle to toxic people from a vision Buddhist, not since the war, but since the wisdom, not from the pride, but from inner peace. Take one deep breath, open your mind, and get ready to regain your energy and your center. Let's get started. 1. Don't take anything personally. One of the most liberating teachings of Buddhism says, "Nothing that another does is for you, but for his own mind." This it may seem simple, but it contains transformative wisdom. When someone criticizes you, ignores you, hurts with words or attitudes, your first reaction it may be asking you, "Did I do wrong? Why are you treating me like this?" That has with me. But it is true that the most of the sometimes it has nothing to do with you. That this person projects his judgment, his rage, his disdain, speaks more of his own internal world that gives you value. As they teach the Zen monks, when someone throws poison at you, that poison already lived within it. You alone revealed it. Understanding this is not an excuse. Abuse is to take back your power. When you don't take nothing as personal, you stop absorbing burdens that do not belong to you. You stop getting hooked in battles that do not you chose. And above all, you stop give your peace to people who don't they know take care of her. Remember, a calm mind does not need defend yourself from every offense. A heart in peace does not respond from the wound, but from the awareness. This is how it begins the art of handling toxic people, not from the reaction, but from the deep understanding of that you are not responsible for your shadow, your true self. This is the job. Choose not to carry with what is not yours. 2. Protect your energy field. There are people who do not hit with words, but they exhaust with her alone presence. Conversations that seem normal, but they leave you feeling drained. Environments that are not violent, but they are heavy. And beyond what physically we are energy. And as they teach the traditions Orientals, as well as you take care of your body, too you must take care of your field subtle. An ancient practice, both in Tibetan Buddhism as in schools of healing, is protecting your aura before facing environments or people dense. And how is it done? This, with something so simple as it is powerful. The intention before entering that meeting, to have that conversation or see that person who it shakes you internally. It closes you the eyes for a few seconds. Breathe deeply and visualize a sphere of white light wrapping your whole body. You can imagine that it is born from your chest or your crown. It's a soft but firm light. It's your field, protected energy. It's not fantasy. It is energetic intention, and the intention, when goes accompanied by presence and consciousness, modifies your vibration. The visualization works as a message clear to the universe and to yourself. I am present. I do not absorb what is not belongs to me. With this you are practicing training your energy system to distinguish between what nourishes you and what that contaminates you. It's not about reject the other with judgment, but of protect your peace, without need to confrontation. Because as I said, a Tibetan master, not everything that enters your space deserves to stay, and you have the power to choose what you allow inside of you. Just as you close your door home to protect your rest, learn to close your aura to protect your energy. And the most beautiful thing is that when your field is fine content, the toxicity does not enter. It dissolves, not by fight, but by vibration. 3. No reactions. Breathe. The Buddha said, breathe deeply and you will know as act with wisdom. And no, it's just a metaphor. In the moment exact when someone provokes you, challenges or criticizes you disguised as a joke, your body enters alert state, your heart races, your jaw tenses, your thoughts they want defend itself. The ego wants answer now. But Buddhism tells us offers a radically alternative powerful. Don't react, breathe. The breathing is not just air, is the sacred space between the stimulus and your answer. That's second in the fact that you choose. I'll repeat the boss. I'm going to allow their poison to enter me, or I go to breathe and recover control of my energy. When you breathe fully presence, your mind clears, your frequency rises, your body aligns, and your ego is swollen. It's as if that air will enter your soul and said, no, you have to react to demonstrate your courage. You are safe. Your silence also an answer. Most of people respond on impulse, but a wise man answers from the awareness. And that difference is what transforms your energy in a serene force, impenetrable. Because whoever loves you provokes, seeks something, a reaction, a conflict, a crack in your peace. But when you do not enter that game, when you just breathe, observe and choose, your provocation is left without food. And that it is what most bothers the ego of others. That you have found in your breathing a refuge stronger than any argument. So remember, don't defend yourself immediately. Do not explain what that does not need. Justification. Breathe and let your silent sage answer for you. 4. Learn to say not without guilt. In his spiritual path, it is sometimes misinterpreted the compassion as complacency. But the Buddha taught that true compassion starts with oneself. Say yeah, when in reality one saying no is not an act of love, is an act of self-abandonment. Toxic people do, and always they come in screaming. Sometimes they enter asking for favors that do not correspond to you, manipulating with guilt, taking advantage of your good disposition. And if you haven't learned to put limits, you can end giving your energy to those who don't have it honor. From the Buddhist vision, the beginning of ahimsa, non-violence, not only, it means not to hurt others. 2. It means not hurting yourself with silences that hurt. Do not betray yourself with promises you don't want comply. No carry weights that do not belong to you. Say no with clarity from calm and without guilt is an act of self-love and also a lesson for the other, because your healthy limit sample where there is the yours. Remember this. When you say yes for fear of disappointing, you start living a life that is not yours. But when you say no from the consciousness, you become guardian of your peace. You don't have to justify your limit. Your energy doesn't need defense, just true. So next time someone tries to enter your space with manipulation, demands, or dramas, take a deep breath, connect with your center and say, "No," with firmness and love, because protecting your peace is not selfishness, it is wisdom. 5. Practice the compassion active, know the passivity. In the vision of Buddhism, the compassion, karuna, is not synonymous with weakness. No, it is allowing abuse. Not silencing your truth so that the other don't be upset. Have compassion is not letting you trample. It is to understand that the other can be acting from his pain, from its wounds, from their emptiness. But that does not mean that you should become an container of its shadow. There's a great difference between feeling compassion and remain trapped in dynamics toxic. For fear of appearing bad, tough, or insensitive. Compassion active is look at the other with understanding, but also look at you with the same tenderness. That is, I see your suffering, but I do, and he took with me. I recognize your wound, but I won't let it hurt me, because if your compassion does not, it includes you, it is not complete. The Dalai Lama it expressed with wisdom. The compassion genuine does not mean tolerating it intolerable. Put limits from the calm down, move away without hate, protect your light. It is also a form of love. It is a love that doesn't scream or hits, but it lifts with dignity and says, "Until here, out of respect for you and out of love for me." When you understand this, you stop thinking to maintain your energy clean is selfishness, and you start seeing it as an act of spiritual clarity. So remember, the compassion true don't you makes you more passive, makes you more aware. And sometimes the elderly act of compassion is say goodbye before you break. 6. Don't try to change the other. In the heart of there's human suffering, a silent but powerful pattern. The wish that the another is different. If just outside more conscious, yes, understood what hurts me, if it changed his attitude, we could be at peace. This wish seems noble, but in reality is a subtle form of attachment, because when you cling to the idea that someone has to change so that you are okay, you are surrendering your power. Buddhism teaches that the root of the suffering is attachment, and one of the hardest to let go of is attachment to the expectation. Accept does not mean resignation, neither justify it unjustifiable. Accepting means understanding that no, you can control the evolution foreign, and that put your peace in the hands of change another is to build on sand. As he said, the Buddha, you same you must strive. The wise only show you he way. Accepting is saying, I can love you, but I can't do your job internal for you. I can understand your pain, but I'm not going to stay where I am. I hurt. The real one transformation no occurs when he another changes, but when you loose the need for it do. Since that internal freedom, you can choose with elderly clarity, get away with compassion, put boundaries without guilt, or stay without suffer for what you cannot control, because you are not here to mold anyone. You are here to cultivate your peace and be an example of what means to live from the consciousness. And maybe when releases the need to change to the other, something magical happens. You free yourself. 7. Observe, don't hitches. In the Buddhist practice, one of the most powerful pillars is the development from the mind of the witness. That part of you that doesn't react, doesn't get tangled, just observe with clarity and presence. When someone toxic comes, in scene with his criticism, his manipulation, or its drama, your ego will want to defend yourself. Your wound will want react. Your mind will want to respond with the same energy, but there is your spiritual opportunity. Imagine for a moment that you are the sky, and the comments, emotions, or behaviors of the others, they are just clouds passengers. Some they are gray, others dense, some they bring storm, but you are not the one cloud, you are the sky that the contains. Immense, clear, and always present. When practice is the conscious observation, you stop living from the automatic and you start living from the center. You no longer react by momentum. You don't fall in the provocation. No, you get hooked on a game of the another. Only you observe from silence, from the lucidity, from the inner strength that does not needs defend yourself to feel valuable. As taught the Buddha, there is no fire like the passion, nor trap like the hate. The wise man he sees, and by seeing he is freed. So the next time someone want drag you into its storm emotional, do not respond from anger. Breathe, observe and remember, you are not the emotion. You are not the provocation. You are the one to go and choose not to inhabit it. That is the true freedom, and also he elderly can. 8. Don't explain your peace. Sometimes when you choose silence in place of the conflict, when you decide move away instead of justifying yourself, when you prioritize your calm rather to please, the world that you're around is restless. People who have not worked his interior interpret your serenity as coldness, your distance as disinterest, your self-care as selfishness. But remember this profound truth of path. You don't have to explain your peace to those who still live at war with themselves. Buddhism teaches that when a being wake up, the first thing he does is protect your energy, not from the arrogance, but from the compassion. Because the true peace is not complacent, is aware. And that consciousness teaches you that your energy does not, it is a bargaining chip, nor your presence an obligation. Whoever values you will do without you having to justify your calm. Who understands you, you will know that behind your silence there is wisdom. As it says a Zen proverb, silence also responds. The distance also take care, and peace too puts boundaries. So don't sit down guilty for not explaining your process to those who don't want to understand it. Don't wear it out. Your light trying to enlighten those who refuse to open the eyes. Your peace is sacred and does not need approval, just protection. Because when you choose to inhabit yourself, instead of explain to you, you become in a sanctuary, and not all are ready for enter. 9. Choose your internal battles. In his spiritual path is not about gain discussions, but to preserve the inner peace. There are times when those that someone lance a criticism, a provocation, or opinion hurtful, and your mind, almost by reflection, wants to respond, defend himself, correct, explain. But this is where it begins the practice real. Is your energy really worth it, that battle? Buddhism reminds us that not everything deserves a response, because many times the impulse to react is not born of the soul, but of the wounded ego. Just as the ocean is not disturbed by the waves, the wise not is disturbed by the words empty. Learning to choose your internal battles means asking yourself this question with honesty. I want to have the reason or want to have peace. When you choose not to answer, not because you give up, but because you are an other level of consciousness, you begin to honor the most valuable that you have, your energy. Not everything needs to be clarified. Not all are ready to understand you. Not all a storm deserves your sun. And that not weakness is mastery. The next time someone searches drag you into a conflict zone, breathe and remember, your peace doesn't have to fight to exist, it just needs that. 10. Use the absence as medicine. In many times we insist on being present where there are no longer any listen. I respect neither reciprocity. But Buddhism teaches us something powerful. Absence also, it can be an act of love towards yourself. Not everything is resolved talking. Not all wound heals from the closeness, and not every bond requires more effort. Sometimes you just need space. The silence when is born from the consciousness and not of. Rancor returns one sacred medicine. A way of saying, I'm retiring here, no because I hate, but because I honor myself. In the spiritual practice, the distance is not always disconnection. It's a pause, to breathe. It is a limit that protects your energy. It is a higher form of communicate. My peace is non-negotiable. You are not punishing the other. You are reminding you that you don't have to stay where you do not flourish. As a Zen teaching says, the lotus does not stop being beautiful because it grows far of the noise, simply blooms in silence. The next time you feel worn out for a relationship, a conversation, or a presence, ask yourself with sincerity, that need now? Insist or retire with love. Remember, the absence can hurt, but also can heal. And in that silence many times your true beginning transformation. 11. Strengthen your inner practice in a world where everything pushes you to react, run, defend yourself. Going back inside is an act revolutionary. Buddhism teaches that the trained mind is your true refuge, and that fortress is not built in half from the noise, but in the constant practice of silence, the mindfulness and connection with your essence. When you meditate, you are not just closing the eyes, you are opening the door toward your center. A place where the words hurtful do not penetrate, where the toxicity has no access, where your energy is reordered, purified. Remember, the conscious affirmations are anchors. They return you to yourself when the world tries to tear you away. Phrases like, "My peace does not depend on others. I am owner of my energy. I choose to respond, not react. My light does not need validation." And if that practices of energy cleansing, such as the use of incense, salt baths, breathing deep, or light visualization, you start to create an invisible shield, but very real, because a clear mind does not let itself be dragged, and a heart in peace does not enter at war. Every minute you dedicate to your inner practice is an investment in your freedom. An affirmation daily, one breathing, a moment of silence at dawn can change your vibration, your day, your life. And the stronger your world becomes internal, the more harmless it becomes at external. No, because the world has changed, but because you have changed the way of inhabit it. 12. Remember, you are not responsible for heal anyone. One of the most invisible and most heavy than many load in silence, it is the belief that they must heal the other. They taught us that love is sacrifice. Yes, someone suffers must stay. Yes, someone is broken. We must stick to him pain to help him heal. But Buddhism offers us a truth liberating. To accompany is not to burden. To love, it is not forgetting your peace. You can tend a hand, but not walking, I walk by another. You can turn on a light, but not force anyone to see. You can embrace with compassion without becoming he container of your darkness. Every being has his own path of learning, and when you try to assume he inner work of the another, not only you exhaust, you are stealing the chance to wake up by itself same. Remember, your first responsibility is with you, with your harmony, with your clarity, with your energy. When you are in balance, you can inspire. But if you lose your balance by carrying it that does not correspond to you, you only add more chaos to the world. To love healthily is to know how to accompany without losing yourself, is being present without losing the center. It is to offer comprehension without mortgage your well-being. Because sometimes he act more loving is give a step back and trust that the soul of the another will find his path when is ready. And it's right there, in that act of letting go responsibility of healing others, where yours begins true spiritual freedom. Because when you stop charging what you do and corresponds, you begin to recover what always was. Yours, your energy, your peace, your center. And now that you have heard these 12 conscious ways of relating from the inner wisdom, it's time to integrate this message not only with the mind, but with the heart. Close the eyes, take a deep breath, and repeat internally with me these conscious affirmations. I don't eat ideas loose, but as anchors that return to you. My peace is not negotiable. I choose to surround myself with people who nourish my energy. I say, not without guilt, and I walk away without explanations. I am light, and I deserve environments where that light be respected. Allow yourself a few seconds of silence. Let these statements not only be words, but a seed that begins to throw roots in your soul. Because when you affirm your peace, your energy begins to protect itself. When you choose, the universe does too begins to chosen by you. And with that state of presence we reach the closing. Today you remembered something essential. Cope with toxic people. It does not require violence, but conscience. And your peace interior, when well cultivated, is more powerful than any energy that try to alter it. If this message was valuable to you, to like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs to remember his inner power. Tell me in the comments which of these 12 keys you feel you need to integrate more at this moment of your path. And don't forget, where you cut and dawn, the silence and the distance also are wise answers. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video. A hug of light.